Your weapon is not in as of yet. It's going to take a couple more. I'd have to look at the official time, and I'll get back to you because I'm holding a cookie.
All right.
In my clicking hand. But it's only been a few days, and since you guys were already gaining a reputation, everybody moved around town a little bit, had some conversations here or there, and talked to the sheriff. I'm going to send you a picture of him just in a second.
Miss Lady Hoity-Toity thinks we need to shower more.
Shaban says specifically one of you, not saying names, Oklahoma, stinks and needs to take a shower more often. But the sheriff, you know what? I didn't let them get that far. It's not that type of D&D game. But this is a sheriff who also, his wife owns the butcher shop, so he kind of part-time sheriff, part-time butcher, or more like full-time sheriff, full-time butcher, full-time husband. You know how that gig goes. So he asked you guys to head over and investigate some issues of banditry that's been reported. So I'm going to send you an additional map. So when you were looking at Lance Rock, the Lance Rock area, I believe, you were looking at this general area. I don't know if you can see my X. I can use a circle if not. So this area was where you were looking at Lance Rock. He marked on your map that this is where the square to the bottom right of the map, you have caravans coming up from Barge Right Inn and Wormford that travel this way a good deal, who are reporting people taking shots at them. They don't seem to have been too overly successful because most of the people just say they took a couple shots at him, but he was asking you guys to go out there because he didn't have the ability to basically abandon his wife's butcher business and everything else to go traipsing through the hills to try and find these bandits. He offered you payment to go look, and if you did find something, he offered you additional payment to go or if there's something out there, to kill it. To answer your question, they said it would take roughly 2 weeks, 2 weeks or 14 days, a 10-day and a half, before your weapons would come in. This is the 4th day, so it'll be a little bit, because they have to send away to Waterdeep and then travel back. It's a 7 days travel. The group took the order, the request, and then they...
Hey, why did you unplug?
And they needed to... The group took that mission, and they agreed to go out there, and you guys stayed the night, and you guys were just waking up early in the morning, and you guys were about to head out to the Bears and Bows. Since you didn't get a chance, is there anything you want to do in town before we or the party heads out?
Nope, I'm good. So the weapon's really the only thing I've got pending?
Yep, you got another 10 days before it shows up.
10 days?
Yes, sir. It's been about 4 days. You ordered it on day 1.
Where's FedEx when you need it?
Telling you, man. You know what? With bandits plaguing the roads, it might be longer. Maybe you guys can speed stuff up, handle it. You gotta account for the banditry.
I'll start ripping some arms off.
Look on the upside. Many lessons were learned. One of the more important lessons that if there's a wizard, it's generally a good idea not to rely on ranged. That was an important lesson to learn. So, with that, you guys intended to head out. So if you guys don't have anything to do in the actual town, we're just going to actually head on out of town and get the next mission started, if that was your guys' intention. I think Tasha's stealing cookies. So, you said you don't have anything to do in town, so you guys are going to head out. And you notice, as you are waking up and getting ready, eating breakfast, the weather is sunny, not many clouds. There's occasional cloud here or there. But otherwise, it's just decent weather. So, Ogie, did you have anything you wanted to do in town before everybody headed out? You there?
Yep, I just got some olives and cottage cheese.
Ah. So, is there anything you want to do in town before you guys head out to look for these bandits?
No, I think we did everything we needed to do already.
That was my understanding as well, but I wanted to double check.
Yeah, is there anything you want to do, JD?
Nope. I think I'm full health, so I'm good. Are we still all level 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so heading out, you guys are going to travel to the area that was marked on your map. So you are going to send this back in your face. Going to be heading out to this X with a square around it. You're going to travel down the Cairn Road, and at that point, you're going to start looking for indications of tracks or things like that. And what that's going to involve is a survival check. I'm sorry, survival check to look for signs and tracks. And so you guys are tracking. It's looking like everybody that I can see has a +4 on survival.
I don't.
I'm tracking Oglavone. Everybody except for Ragnar has a +4. So we're going to have Oglavone do it, but he's going to do it at advantage. And to do that, you're going to open your character sheet and go to the tab on the right that says Skills. And then before you do it, you're going to go down to the bottom left of your screen and click the button that says ADV. And when it turns red, you're going to go and double click on your +4 for survival. And that's going to be your survival check to try and track these footprints of the creature that may or may not be in the area.
Are we on a break?
No, 1 second.
It's not working. I don't know why.
Nice.
Sorry about that, I left my headset in there. So, you guys start tracking, looking around the area he marked on your map. And what you find is there are tracks off on the side of the road that trail off into the woods. I draw a black line to here. Should show up eventually. Maybe not. I never know when it shows up. There we go. So, what you do find are tracks that lead off. And with that particular roll of a natural 20, you find 3 sets of footprints. All of them look booted. And you find what looks like paw prints of a creature of some type. So, at this point, you guys are going to be following tracks, and you have the choice of how to approach the tracks. Are you going to just follow them balls to the wall? Are you going to look around, see if you can see anything else? Are you going to try and approach stealthily? What is your guys' intentions?
I'm thinking stealth.
Makes the most sense.
Okay, and you can roll a stealth check for each person. And I'm going to roll the ones for the people who aren't here. So the smallest among you is also the loudest. That's sad. So you guys do travel. The traveling off the road is about an hour to an hour and a half. You're moving through pretty thick brush. It's not anything that is overwhelming, but it's thick enough that you definitely wouldn't be getting wagons through here. It comes down to single file once or twice. And after you travel towards the end of the hour and a half, in a brush-choked dell, you see a makeshift camp amid some weathered stone foundations of fallen buildings. And the area is on an incline. From there, you can see 4 humans around a campfire. They look to have various blades out. And you can see as you kind of move around, trying to get a better look at the area, you can see a wooden cage towards the back of their camp, and you can see a figure, a shape in the cage. That's going to be the map. It's a much larger map. You can zoom in or zoom out as you like. So, I'm going to mark them on the map. The cage is right here. And the fire is right in the middle of them. Now, you guys have been following this path from the Cairn Road. And it's put you guys coming up from the south. So I'm going to put all of you on the map. I'm going to rearrange you, and I'm going to allow you guys to Adjust your map as you like. Inside of that cage, you can see a figure. You just don't know what it's a figure of. So, if you guys want to arrange yourselves, you guys have managed with your stealth checks to get this far, but at this point you aren't convinced you're going to be able to get any closer. And by that I mean if you move any closer, you're going to be doing an additional stealth check. But this is as far as you guys have been able to get, and you guys are going to have to decide how to approach it from here.
My map just disappeared.
Okay, I will resend it. Just give me 1 second. How's that?
Nothing yet.
How's that?
Exactly the same.
That's alright. I can fix it. Let's see. That should have made it disappear for everybody.
Yes.
And this will resend it to everybody.
Yay, I see it.
Alright. I will point out that I worked really hard on that funny map name.
I know this is crazy.
The map names are at the top there, Natasha. I thought you might enjoy that.
It's adorable.
My children wanted to hear that song earlier. So this is where you guys have gotten to. So you can see there are humans. You aren't necessarily, you followed their trail. At this point, you suspect they're bandits. You were able to follow their trail pretty specifically. You only saw 3 sets of footprints. But at this point, it's probably afternoon after searching and tracking. You guys have traveled. But at this point, they're sitting around a fire. Some of them are preparing food, some of them are sharpening blades. But it's now up to you guys to decide, 1, what you're going to do about it and how you're going to approach it, and 2, whichever thing you decide to do, you have to decide how you're going to go about it. They are on a raised area. Obviously, you can see the raised area yourself. And the show is yours. Matt will jump in when Matt jumps in.
Alright, I am thinking I'm gonna probably stealth by myself, see how close I can get, and see if I can sneak up on him, get a surprise round on him.
Okay.
So, the general consensus here is we're going to attack them, right?
Well, yeah.
You know, if they happen to be people that just live in this area and they happen to possibly not be related to bandits, they're just fucked, I guess.
Exactly. Well, they have a cage, right, with something in it?
That is true. They do have a cage with something in it.
Yep, they're bandits.
Clearly.
All right. So, for the simplicity of the flow of the game, we're going to start with some initiative. Everybody roll initiative.
Well, we haven't even been spotted yet.
It's not for battle. It's for just the simplicity of you guys moving in what order you would move in. Now, they're not going to be taking a turn because they don't know about you. But the idea behind it is so I know which one of you would be the fastest to react in the event of something happening.
Well, I think I'm the only one going up there.
That's fine. We're just going to start with a good, solid initiative just in case.
Wow, we suck. Oh, that was investigation. You might have a different multiplier for your initiative. Much better.
Much better.
Wow.
All right, so I'm not going to lock the tokens because, like I said, you're not in battle. This is yours to control. I can lock them if you would like me to, but you are going to need to do a stealth check.
Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and put my creeping hat on.
Have you ever taken it off?
I really like this hat.
A creeper hat does suit you.
So how big is this wall?
So this wall is about 5 feet tall. So the only way you guys were able to distinguish them, as I said, was by moving around a little bit, peeping through the cracks, and approaching, walking around a little bit, seeing from different angles. Definitely can't shoot them through it. You kind of got to be able to shoot them over the wall. You guys would have to approach up here, or go through one of the, or get line of sight, meaning specifically through one of the cracks.
But I'm like over 6 feet tall.
I'm not talking about you'd have to go up there though. That's what I mean. Like
That's where I'm going.
that's fine. I'm talking in general for everybody. The world doesn't revolve around you.
Well, there's only 2 of us.
It's true. But so from here, you can hear some shuffling and a little bit of growling.
Shuffling and growling. Okay, so they probably have some kind of animal caged up. That's all I can see. I can't get any kind of distinction of
So
what
you're
they're
gonna.
doing.
I'm guessing you're gonna peek over the wall there.
Yeah, do a perception through a crack or something.
So when you do peek over the wall, they are eating, and in the cage you see a bear. It's a black bear specifically. It doesn't seem to be a full-size bear, but it's definitely a bear large enough to hurt.
User joined your channel.
Hey guys,
Hey.
sorry about that. I got out about 30 minutes later than what I planned on.
No worries. We're just in the process of making a huge mistake.
It happens.
So in the wooden cage, the bear is pacing, and bandit number 9 there turns and smacks the wooden cage with a scimitar, curved blade, and shouts various profanities at the bear, basically telling it to shut the fuck up.
Yep, they're definitely gonna die.
Yep.
The bear kind of growls back, but it doesn't seem to be. It seems like it's been mistreated for more than a day, because it seems to be pulling back when he smacks at the cage with his sword. But afterwards, they go back to their fire and tending to their blades as they would desire. In the back corner, though, from there, you can see. Let's see if I can mark it with another little thing here. In this area, you see a number of crates and barrels and assorted goods that look like they may have been reappropriated.
Okay. Alright, so I'm thinking. Well, I guess. Let's give it another second here, get everyone in.
Yeah, I'm getting in now.
You all set up there, Matt?
Yep, just gotta open the character sheet and get the map.
Alright, I'll get the map sent to you. Did you get the map there, Siobhan?
Yep, I got the map.
Alright, so you guys managed to track these bandits from the road, and Ragnar, with his creeper hat on, is creeping up, and he spotted what you've heard is a bear in a wooden cage and 4 bandits around a campfire, sharpening their blades, cooking their little dinner, and I believe Ragnar has decided that they are bad people. Seem, pretty hasty, but thus far they are unaware of your existence.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was thinking creeping around the corner and probably running out to attack them. You said they're sitting down eating, right?
They are. They're sitting on barrels, using them as stools, but they are definitely in a seated position, definitely not in any type of defensive method or anything like that.
And I'm pretty close, right? Within 10 feet, so I can
Yeah.
get a good melee attack onto them before they...
Oh, absolutely. This area right here is an area you could pass through. The wall's about 5 feet high. From where you're at, it would be difficult to line a bow shot up from your shoulder height, but you could definitely throw a weapon over it. From farther down, you're going to have an issue. For those of you farther back are going to have an issue with ranged weapons due to the obstruction. But you guys could absolutely get up there. And you guys have a surprise round.
Okay. From
Right.
now?
I'm going to go around the corner and get Bandit 4 here.
Okay, and we're going to start that's going to be the start of combat. Now, I'm going to let you take your turn since you're initiating combat. And then when it comes to your turn, I'm just going to skip you. Because you're initiating combat, you get to go first, but we're going to keep the initiative order.
Okay.
So, I'm going to lock the tokens.
So we're going to do the surprise round first, and then go back into the regular combat tracker.
Yes.
Got it.
So, Ragnar, we're going to start with you, and you can move wherever you want. Now, you get advantage on this attack, because they don't know you're there.
All right.
Hit.
An advantage on the bonus run too, right?
Yes, sir. It's a definite hit.
All right. And then...
User disconnected from your channel.
Oh, we lost somebody.
One
The
second.
wife. You didn't hear her, baby. I don't know anything about computers.
So what do you think about our situation here?
I don't think it's that bad. I mean, we'll have to see.
User joined your channel.
Welcome back.
Thanks. Apparently the X and the minus sign are
Yeah, but there you go. An X is a lot different than the minus sign. There's 2 lines in an X. Minus sign has 1.
Yep.
If it had 2, it would be a plus.
Thank you.
There you go. I'm here for you, Tasha.
Too kind.
So you guys should be able, and this is a change, so don't forget to look at your combat tracker, because you can now see visually which of them has been hurt and how much.
Yeah, somebody's got a heavy flow.
It makes specific treatments for that. So at this point, we're going to hop back up to Siobhan, and everybody's going to take their round. We're just going to skip Ragnar when it's his turn.
Move me there, I think, is where I want to go.
Okay.
Would he get cover from there?
He would get regular cover, which is a -2 to your attack. But you would still get advantage, so take that for what it is.
Okay. I'm going to fire at him then. With my bow.
That's a hit. Poor guy, just trying to have a sandwich.
It happens.
So, I'm going to do my best to play each character as they would like, but Matthias, I'm guessing, would want to get close enough to be useful. His speed, I believe, is 30 feet. I'm going to double check that. It is. So, I'm going to move him to this point, and that's going to be his full round. And without an ability to do anything specific, I'm going to move Dimble there and take a look at, from that perspective, where exactly he would be able to target. So, wouldn't be able to target that one. He's going to have a little issue with targeting pretty much anyone. And let's see. Unless somebody has a specific request for him, he's just going to he's been keeping mage armor on, so that's definitely something. He's going to take a readied action to attack anyone that he can with a spell, a cantrip spell of combat. That way he's not wasting all of his powerful magic. And now, Oglavone, it's down to you.
Okay.
You're going to have to go...
I was gonna go 60 feet around the other side, and what do you guys think?
Go for it.
Sure. Yeah, if you can't get there anyways, might as well.
And you said the wall's how high, Tony?
5 feet, and you guys can see over it, but from the lower level you're going to have a lot more difficult time making combat attacks over it. So I'm going to move you there, and that'll be your whole round right there.
Okay.
So later on, I don't remember when it is, you will get extra movement there, Oglavone, but it won't be till level, looks like 5, just FYI. You will eventually be able to go faster than normal.
Okay.
But we're going to start this off at round 1. And they give a roar of frustration, and it jumps back up to Shaban as they start to react.
Okay. Actually, I wanted to, sorry. That would still give me well within the limit, because instead of going straight, I would have gone up in front of Augie.
Never heard of you going straight.
Yep. Really? Just because you're wishful thinking. Okay, he's there. As Shaban runs up, she tosses her bow around her and pulls out her daggers. And she attacks Numbnuts. Hold on. I'm gonna almost do a lucky. Hold on. Gonna take that second one, so I'm using a lucky.
Alright, that's a hit.
And my sneak attack. And I'm going to use my offhand. Ah, damn it, hold on. I forgot to give myself advantage on that. So that second one would be my advantage.
Okay, that hits.
Okay. And after Shaban stabs him, she uses her elbow and knocks him in the head. And
That's
that
unnecessarily aggressive.
is right. Don't fuck with Shaban. Shaban bam bam bam. Shaban bam bam.
So, Bandit 20 stands up after taking a hit to the head and a stab in the kidney and everything else by this little frilly young lady. And if he were the type of person that wouldn't hit a lady, that changed. And he stands up and swings his scimitar directly at Shaban, trying to cut her down. And misses. He seems to be bleeding from a stab wound, and he's also a little light on his legs. Now, doesn't appear like he's very strong on his with his head wound there. Matthias will run up. Now, do you guys want him to run into battle or stay back? What is your preference?
Well, I bet we probably want to make sure that those two guys don't go in, open up the bear cage. So does he have anything, or I guess it would be Dimble, right, that would have that kind of stuff?
Matthias has, it looks like, let's throw it into combat mode here. He has the Wand of Magic Missile, but he also has a cantrip spell that allows him to try to burn people. But that's about all he has as far as he has Bless, which I think would be a good spell if you guys would like him. It helps you guys all, but that replaces one of his healing spells. He gets 3 healing spells right now. Bless will replace one of them, but it will also help all of you in your combat, or he can use the Magic Missile Wand to do damage.
And does the wand have like a certain amount of like ammo type?
And the wand gets 7 charges a day. The general rule of thumb is you don't want to use the 7th, because if you use the last charge in a day, however many that is, you have to roll 1d20, and if you get a 1, the wand's gone forever. At the beginning of every day, you get to roll 1d6 plus 1, and that's how many charges it regains. The minimum of 2, the maximum of a full recharge. And it's random every day. So right now it's at 7 of 7.
Well, I guess we might as well use that then.
Yeah.
Okay, I will track that for him, and he will... Do you want him to target anyone specific? You don't have to. I'll play him, however. I just am curious if you guys are thinking something. I want to make sure I go with it.
What kind of damage is that? Probably there's no way he could kill somebody with it, right? Unless it was 20.
You remember what it felt like when it was aimed at you?
That's true. Okay, well, I'm thinking the closest guy to the bear cage. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm pretty mad at number 9.
Okay.
Alright, so he's going to target number 9. And the beautiful thing about the wand is it's magic missiles, so it works on, he doesn't have to roll an attack, it works every time he casts it. So he's gonna hold the wand out and shoots out 3 darts of glowing blue energy towards him, and they are unerring. They don't miss, they don't go in the wrong direction, they can't be dodged. They definitely are some unhappy for him darts there. All
Sound
3
like
of them
a bug
strike
zapper.
home. And that's about all it is. And all 3 of them hit home, and as you can see, takes him to heavy damage. Dimble, and I'm sorry, I meant to move him up a little bit. I'm going to move him to here. Dimble steps up, trying to get in, and targets the same, and he has a clear line of sight there. But he's going to use his cantrip, so he's not costing himself actual limited magic, and he's going to use a attack of fire bolt. Still spinning. And that is going to be a hit. for 9 damage, which kills number 9. So 3 magic missiles and a firebolt drop number 9 down.
Alright, I'm gonna try to kill 20 here and then get in front of the other one here.
Okay. That's a miss.
Crap.
That's a hit.
Just enough, huh?
Just enough to kill him.
Hold on. Well, never mind. I was going to say, you forgot to do your advantage because we were flanking him, but...
He's still dead.
Yep. Does the gate open towards the south, Tony, or is it on the side?
It's directly above you.
Okay.
I'm guessing I can't do any kind of action to block somebody from... I just have to stand there and let them go around me and open the cage?
Pretty much, but they can't really run across fire. They could try and jump it, but...
Okay.
But then they'd have to go in between us, and it just gets ugly.
So, the bear seems... I mean, you guys rush in incredibly fast, tearing through everything. The bear reacts almost faster than the bandits. And from this distance, you can see the bear is emaciated. They haven't been feeding it very much. It's probably incredibly hungry, and it looks like it's not been treated real well. It throws itself against the cage, and with the cage's strength being a 15, the bear charges and throws itself against the cage and just pretty much tears through the wall of the cage here.
Of course he does.
And... completely ignoring you guys, tears through the cage in its battle rage, because it doesn't seem very happy with the bandit, and he attacks the bandit, swiping with his claws and trying to get a bite on him. And he gets a good slash across the bandit's leg and then clamps down on his kneecap, and you can hear the kneecap just crack.
Well, I think it'd be a good time to just leave.
Yeah, he's definitely not getting away from that bear with a big chunk out of his knee.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good time to just let the bear go ahead and eat, and then we can mosey on away.
Is there any way to do just a quick look around to see if there's anything of importance? I know we had those crates.
Those crates and everything, they're getting jostled around pretty solidly by a juvenile bear tearing into a person. But there's sacks here or there. They're just generally stacked in the north half of this little hideout, blocked in, and looks like that's where they're keeping all their loot, in addition to the barrels they were all sitting on as well.
Is there any way we can just subdue the bear so he doesn't attack us, or...
It doesn't seem like the bear particularly gives a rat's ass about you.
But if
We
I
haven't
try
gotten
to move
tortured
away,
yet.
I'm guessing he would get attack of opportunity, right?
If he were, he would have the ability, but it looks like the bear is actually latched on, involved in a type of grapple, so he would not necessarily be able to do that without giving up his grapple.
Okay.
So we just want me to look at the crates?
If you make your way, the crates are pretty much right underneath the bear or around him. He's knocking them over, so to get up there, you're going to have to get near a raging bear tearing into a person. So if you guys plan to withdraw, that's fine. But if you're going to fight the bear, you want to stay. But if you stay in this area, it probably is not going to just ignore you. It is pretty angry.
It's a juvenile bear, so if it went up on its hind legs, it'd be, what, about 4 feet tall?
4 or 5, yeah. It's not huge.
I'm getting out of here. I got no troubles with that bear.
Yeah.
Well, it's Augie's turn, so...
Please,
Oh.
please feel free to pre-draw your moves. I'm more than happy to have that all over the place because it helps me out.
Okay.
Now you can retreat, or you can even shoot at the bandit with a ranged weapon there, Augie, if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I think. I think I'm just gonna head on out and just let the bear finish him off.
Okay. Where are you looking like you want to head on out to? Right about there. You're gonna have to go around the wall there, but that'll work for me. And you can move up. I'll approve it if you'd like, or if you're happy there. So the bandit, feeling his knee collapse, screams in pain, but he also lashes out at the bear with his scimitar, trying to attack back. And he cuts a big long gash in the bear, but he can't really do too much other than that. Are you trying to go on top of the wall?
Yep, trying to go on top of the wall. That should be, I assume, total my 30-foot move.
That's about it. I need an athletics check real quick, though.
Okay. Athletic or acrobatics?
Either one. They both would be accurate.
It's not pretty. I'm not re-rolling that.
Okay. You get up there eventually. That definitely uses the rest of your movement.
Okay. And Cage, I assume, can I shoot him from there?
Oh yeah, the cage isn't an obstruction.
Okay, I just want to make sure. So, Saban pulls out her bow again and fires at the bandit, taking a position up here to make sure give everybody a heads up on what the bear's doing.
That's a hit.
There you go. Pretty shitty hits, but hey, why not?
It's a hit. So Matthias is going to move and hold position there. Dimble's going to move and try to send another fireball bolt towards the bandit. With another hit, and kill the bandit outright.
Great. Now I'm stuck right next to the bear.
It's your turn next. You're good.
So, are you going to do anything there, Ragnar, or just retreat?
Well, I've still got 20 more feet, so I'm thinking I'm going to go a little bit farther.
Okay, and that jumping down there is going to take 5 additional feet, but that'll put you at your full movement.
Okay.
And the bear, still holding on to the now dead man's leg, basically, I don't mean to get all that, drags him, and assuming you guys aren't impeding him, drags the person by his leg out of the area, taking a snack for later. Is it your intention to impede the bear or let him go?
Nope. Let him go, I assume.
Yes, I think so.
Don't want to piss off Augie.
Should we go back for the boxes or just leave?
Yeah. And Shaban would let you guys know that the bear's gone. Like, the bear didn't even look back. He just took off with everything. That's why she's up there.
So, the bear heads out, and you guys very effectively, I will point out, used the element of surprise with Oglavon's survival check of a natural 20 and some stealth checks. You guys decimated those bandits.
Whoop whoop.
I'm going to unlock the tokens, and you guys can search the area if you'd like. Take a look around. So I'll need a perception check and an investigation check, Ogie, from your skills tab, please. Okay, so we have two options here, and I prefer the second one in this case. The collection of stuff is a general collection of goods. It's not anything like sacks of swords. You find crates. Some of them have knives or paper or cloth or flour or dried meats. It's basically assorted provisions, general goods and sundries that are going to have been ordered or carried in. And when someone's going to order, a lot of spices, for example, from Waterdeep, they're going to come in a crate. It looks like these have been stolen. What you do notice is this area hasn't been looted as in an entire caravan. It doesn't look like these four have been able to attack and a full caravan take all of their goods. What it looks more like is they have robbed or extorted a crate here, a barrel there. You got a crate of apples here that's a little older than a sack of flour or a sack of any other provision. So for things like this, the options are, I'm more than happy to give you all of the stuff, put it all on the inventory sheet, and then let you guys decide what you want to do with it. Or, in this case, I'm more than happy to do what the game gives us the option of, is give you the general value of the accumulated goods as coinage.
With my persuasion check.
Right. So do you want all of the specific sack of apples, bag of flowers, or would you rather just me give you the monetary value of the loot you found?
Monetary
I'm good
value.
with the value, yeah.
Yeah, monetary.
Okay. Just wanted to double check, so I'm going to go ahead and add that in. So what you do find in goods and coins, you don't find a massive amount of coins on all three of them. You do find some 99 copper pieces, some silver, 75 silver, and 13 gold. In addition to that, the goods look like they have right around 100 gold in value. So it's definitely not a small amount. So a lot of the stuff, you do have some iron ingots here or there. I'm just going to drop it up here. And then that's the loot from the barbarians that you got. So the coinage is there. I accidentally added it. So if you look on your inventory sheet in the top right, if you don't see it, it'll be the very top right button with the 3 silhouettes and the eye. Under the inventory tab, you'll notice you have all the gear, but you have something just labeled straight plunder. And so that's the general value of that stuff. And I'm sorry, it should just say plunder now. I forgot to identify it. But and the general use of that is to save from all the clutter. So it has about 100 gold pieces value. And that's not just disreputably selling other people's stolen gear. That's also what they would have tipped you for returning it, just to cover all those bases with a simple thing. So after searching this area, Ragnar and Ogie, that's what you find. All those things, and the money included, as well as the leather armor, the crossbow bolts, the light crossbows, and the scimitars.
Okay.
So at this point, it's probably about 3 in the afternoon. You guys could head back. You'd probably be just getting in town right around sundown. But as you guys are moving through, taking a look here and there, One thing that does seem to catch you guys off guard is there's not a large amount of clouds in the sky, but there's a large crack of thunder that rips across the sky, and in the general area, it looks like there are clouds forming. And it takes about maybe 10 minutes as you guys are searching through, opening jugs, things like that, taking leather armor off of people. Takes some time. And it goes from a sunny day to a pretty heavy rain with thunder included that you really didn't expect. But it definitely catches you off guard, but it's a pretty solid rain.
Is it just over us, or is the whole sky now covered?
It's the whole sky.
Okay. Shaban would kind of look around and be like, well, that wasn't normal.
And
must have some kind of wizard or mage nearby.
So,
unless it's Elminster, it's not doing the whole area.
So as you guys are, trying to get cover, the rain seems to pick up and start raining harder.
Alright, I guess it's time to go get shelter.
So a number of these areas, you notice they have not an awful large amount of shelter, but I do believe many of you have tents. So at this point, you guys can travel in the rain, or you can set up camp to provide yourselves shelter from the weather.
We talking like downpour, like what you guys have been getting lately, or is it just like
It didn't
just
initially start that way. It started a decent rain, but after about 15 minutes, it turned into a solid downpour.
Yeah, I don't think it would be smart for us to continue on.
I don't have a tent. I only have an empty backpack.
Right, but if a number of you, assuming you guys are wanting to work together and be friendly with each other, if a number of you use your tents, those of you who have them, as well as some other assorted equipment, you can construct a tarp of sorts over you guys in this general area, especially given the cage, and you guys can construct a makeshift shelter for the whole group, if that's what you guys plan to do.
I'd probably say that's the smartest choice, but it's up to you guys.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, Shaban would rather not walk in this much rain.
Ogie extends a hand to Lady Siobhan, hoping to get to be in her tent.
Yeah, Shaban looks up at the 7.5 foot tall giant and says, I think we're just going to cover the entire area, Ogie.
Ogie grunts.
I'm sorry, have you ever seen a log splitter? Yeah, I'm good, thanks. But Shaban does rub Augie's shoulder, not as a, like, come on, but just as, like, letting down easy thing. Hold on. Yeah.
Ogie has a big smile.
Jesus, Tony. It's like Final Fantasy VII up in here. Okay, so I guess we construct the lean-to.
All right, you guys construct your lean-to, and you guys get settled in. Takes you about 15 minutes. You get pretty wet. You get stretched out, and as you guys do get dried off, the rain starts to subside, and then about an hour into this rain, the area pretty much seems to dry out and the clouds dissipate more rapidly than you would have expected. It isn't that they vanish magically, but for a thunderstorm to, instead of move off, the clouds just fade away. And it's almost like the day when you guys were moving out. There's an occasional cloud in the sky after about an hour and a half of heavy downpour. The area is soaked, but it seems to go away after a little while. And since the majority of you probably are in a position where you'd rather take a good solid rest, I'm gonna mark you guys down for a long rest here. And are you guys wanting to do anything in the night or head back after you finish this area?
I think we did what we came for, so we could probably go back.
Yep.
Yeah, Shaban would do just general recon around the area, since she doesn't need to torch or anything, so let me... Hold on. Yeah, I'm using my last lucky, whatever it is, for the day on that. Doing a little recon before we lay down for sleep.
Okay. This area looks like it's pretty well traveled by a small number of humanoids. You would guess the people you've now killed and the bear helped. But it doesn't look like it's very frequently traveled. There's footpaths pretty much everywhere, but they're not heavily traveled footpaths. The main type of main footpath you're seeing is coming from the road you guys had the reports of the ambushes on. So it looks like this is a main base camp of these guys.
Okay. Well, then I guess after we wake up, we're heading out.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
I was asking, but okay.
So, you guys head back to town, and as you're heading back to town, the day is sunny and nice, and it's about a 6-hour walk total, about hour and a half back to the road, 4 to 5 hours back, depending on the pace you're setting. And give me a perception check, please. Oglavone is at home in the woods. I'm just saying. Can spot just about everything.
Damn.
So, one thing you guys notice as you're walking, specifically you, Oglavone, is you guys feel a light tremor under your feet. It's not shaking. It doesn't even cause you to stutter your step. It's just a small shift that you feel under your feet, and it goes away almost right away. Just something that draws your attention before you are able to take note of it.
Is this a fucking Carole King song? Because you got the earth move under your feet and the sky's tumbling down. I'm just saying. Really? I'm the only one?
I don't know that song.
I was going to point out that he was old, but I was going to let it go.
I'm old. Okay.
So, just to remind you guys where you started, this is where you were. Lance Rock being a little bit to the left of what I've showed you, so you could mark that. But you head back into Red Larch, the Red Larch area. And as you do, the town is moving as it has every other day you've been here. You're at about day 5. It's about noon. You guys are moving into town. The market's marketing. The people are moving around town. They don't seem to have their day at all disturbed by anything. But as you guys head into town along the Cairn Road, which is going to be from right to left on that map I just sent you, The sheriff seems to be talking to some people in the middle of town, and he sees you coming and excuses himself and heads over. And I will remind you of what the sheriff looked like. If you would like, I will share it with you anyways, even if you would not like, because I feel the need, and I can. But he makes his way over. He is wearing his chainmail apron, and he says, "You're back soon." Is that good or bad?
Shaban
Oglavone
looks at
says,
Ogo.
Oglavone says, "We think we found your bandits. There were 4 men and a bunch of crates."
Okay. He takes, assuming you guys brought the crates with you, he takes a look at your crates and says, "Yeah, this is some of the goods that were reported missing." And are there any prisoners, or did you guys discuss with them the inappropriateness of their behavior?
Oglavone says, "A wild bear came and no one made it out."
The Sheriff laughs. Harburg, I'm sorry. He kind of laughs deeply, as you would expect from a guy of his size, and says, "Well, serves him right. And did you see any signs of anything else in the area? Or was that the only signs you guys saw?"
Shaban, since she did the exploring, she would step forward a little bit and said, as far as tracks or other signs of habitation in the general area, there was none. But the weather is very sudden out here on the plains.
Okay. He says, "Yeah, it was a pretty freak thunderstorm there that rolled in and rolled out pretty freakly, as you put it. But that seems to be happening more and more in this area." He said they'll keep an eye out, but he appreciates it. He does say that if you guys are bored and looking around town for something else to do, he's heard rumors of a haunted tomb, they were calling it, but it may just be hearsay and gossip. And he points you towards a building to the south. He tells you it's a local elderly woman's poultry shop, and I'm going to mark it right here for you. They've been talking about there being a haunted tomb. He said the only other thing he's heard is there's a number of people saying they found the location of some treasure, but he's not exactly sure who. He says you might have to talk to a number of people, but he's heard a number of people talking about they found treasure, and they just started talking about it last day or so in the hopes of finding somebody to go look it up. But otherwise, he thanks you guys and offers you guys some the gold that he agreed to pay you, which I have written down. I'm going to add in a little bit, but I'm going to throw that in here right now. Is there anything that you guys would like to do with the equipment there on the party sheet before I sell it?
Nope, I'm good.
Did I get a chance to roll?
I went ahead and applied the last roll.
Okay.
So that dispenses the money to each of you. And it's about noon. It's about lunchtime. Certain large, Goliath maybe getting a little hungry. Not pointing any fingers. So you guys can settle down and get some food if you'd like, or go exploring. But the town is now yours, and you've heard one or two leads here or there.
Well, I am going to try to find out more about the treasure, since I talk to people and people listen to me. So I'll try to find out more about that if one of you guys want to try to find out more about this haunted tomb. Or do you guys want to just all go together to the inn and then try to find both?
I don't mind going to the tomb.
So he knows. So the chicken fucker is who knows about the tomb, right?
Yeah, the old woman.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what do you guys want to do, Augie?
I'll go to the old lady's house with the chickens.
I'll tag along.
Okay. I guess we'll go as a party.
Alrighty, so you guys head down to the area marked on the map there. And 1 second, let me cut that little tinkling out there. And
Somebody's at an hibachi grill.
right? And this wooden building looks like it's grown haphazardly for many years. So what started as a single building now has things shooting out of the single story and wings and annexes untidily in all directions. It looks like they started with one little area building, and then they've built an add-on here and then an add-on there and then stacked an add-on on top of it, the first add-on. The general area pretty much looks like it's been built up by amateurs over years and years. The doors are open. The interior looks like a combination of a barn and an attic. It has exposed beams and posts. The walls and walkways are lined with pens with live chickens, and they pretty much fill up every odd corner of the area that you've seen. The halls of the buildings, it leaves a single narrow aisle that's almost too narrow for Ogie to even fit down without knocking chickens over. And the rooms that you can see look like they're separated from the chicken pens by workrooms and benches. So towards the back of the main building, it looks like the chicken collection area is separated by some workbenches, and then you can hear some talking from back in that area. But getting back there is a whole different story. Oglavone, it definitely looks like you would be able to get back there, but a couple chickens might be taking a tumble.
We definitely need Dimble.
What do you need Dimble for, the frickin' trumpet?
No, we need his little body. I guess I'll squish my way through.
Alrighty. So, give me a save on the front of your sheet. It's going to be the dice on the right, the saves. Give me a dexterity save, please.
If he gets stuck, I am not greasing him up.
Oops, I'm stuck. So, you do knock over a couple chicken cages, but with your reflexes, you are able to catch them before they plummet and smash on the ground. And the whole party works their way back into what looks to be a work area. The benches pretty much can only be accessed effectively, and they're pushed up against walls of crates, some with chickens in them, some without. You do notice one of the things that stands out, and I'm not sure if any of you recall, but earlier in your explorations of the town, you found another poultry shop up north. I marked it with another circle if you particularly care where it's at. But this area looked like the one you saw previously right up there at the crossroads. It looked like it was a professional poultry producer. Like they were trying to crank out high quality chickens all the time. It had wagons that were being loaded up This looks like it's more of a neighborhood chicken farmer. Mind you, I said farmer. Matt. The area doesn't look like it's designed to service or mass produce chickens. There is an older lady towards the back, and she has quite a few little kids running around. But there are 3 grown children, probably 17, 18, and they look like they are filling up some carts with chickens in various stages. This is the older woman. She's definitely wearing some, her clothes have seen some wear and tear over the years. Not the most expensive clothing, but she has a smile on her face, although she looks incredibly old. And she's talking to the older children. They are stacking up these chickens. Some look like they are roasted. Some of them look like they're in jars. There's some chicken livers. There's eggs that are kind of stacked up. There's also eggs that they look like they are hard boiled. So it looks like they're basically setting up a cart for selling. And it takes them probably a minute or two to notice you. And the old lady kind of looks up at you guys and says, just 1 minute. And she kind of shoos the older kids out and on their way. And then she turns to you guys and wipes her hands, which look to be covered in the oil and pickling juice that you saw. And she takes a look at you, specifically Ogie, and then specifically at Dimble. And she kind of gives herself a little laugh, and she says to you guys, she goes, well, don't you guys range in all sizes? You got this big feller and this little feller. You guys could probably get everything off the top shelf and the bottom shelf. And though it isn't apt for the old lady, I can't help but use that cackle.
I really wish Dimble was here. He'd have so much fun with us.
So she kind of laughs herself to the point where her own joke causes her to laugh till she's out of breath. And once she finally stops laughing at her own jokes, she says, well, I'm Minnie Mandelver, and I run the town's poultry shop. Is there something I can help you with? You want a live chicken? A cooked chicken? She kind of looks over at Ogie, says, a raw chicken? You eat raw chicken? You're pretty big. You eat raw chicken, don't you?
Ogie grunts and says, we heard that you had some hauntings happening here.
And she kind of looks you guys over. She says, yeah, I can see that you guys could be more interested in that, but I still think you eat raw chicken, big man. And she holds out her hand and says, I'm Minnie. I go by Minnie. And as for the haunting, that'd be my granddaughter Pell. If you don't mind waiting, help yourself to the chicken. She says, there's eggs here, there's chicken there. She said, but you gotta pull the feathers off, big fella. I'll be right back with my granddaughter.
Ogie grabs a cooked chicken.
I'm gonna hold off on the haunted chicken.
This is where Dimble would use prestidigitation and take a feather and put it like in the corner of your mouth. You know it's true. You know it's true.
It's true.
Yep. As soon as she comes back.
There's feathers everywhere. What happened to all the chickens? So, the old lady shuffles out the door, and she comes back with a young girl. She's probably 9, 10. She's dirty and ruffled up. They're definitely not a rich family, but you can tell that most of their toys involve dirt balls, like most of us did. And Minnie kind of brings her up and introduces her. She says, this is my granddaughter Pell. And she says she had a frightening encounter with a ghost. And Minnie holds her fingers up with the air quotes. And she kind of pushes Pell forward and says, tell him your story. And the girl seems a little shy for a second, but she does speak up and says that her and her cousins and brothers and sisters were out playing around town, running around here, running around there, and they saw a ghost near what there was some really weird rocks, and they had some writing on them in a language we didn't understand, and they looked like they were chopped up, like the rocks they pull out of the quarries, and they had markings on them, and it sounded like a ghost, and it made some scary noises, and we were trying to get closer, and it just kept making really scary noises. And they yelled at us, and we ran off, and we didn't go back because Grandma told us we needed to stay away because it's not safe.
Shaban would take a knee in front of the little girl and ask her, where were you playing at, child? Yeah, decent persuasion.
Okay. I'm going to pull
The
it
insight
up.
was to see if she's making the story up to get attention or if she actually believes.
Okay, as for that, as far as you can tell, she absolutely believes the story. Whether the story is true or not is a totally different thing, but she absolutely believes the story. So she wholeheartedly believes that what she says she saw, she saw. She believes there was a ghost. It's something that definitely is scary to her, but she doesn't seem terrified. She seems like young people often will. She seems like something that she's wanting to go back and mess with, but she seems like she's a little more scared of her grandmother than she is of just about anything else. She does tell you that if you were to go out the main, see if I can pull this map up for you. If you were to go out the main door of town and head on up to the Larch Path, which for those of you, I'm going to pull the map right up on your screen. I know a good deal of you have probably closed it, but the Larch Path is the one that extends to the north and east and upper right, for those of you who are not cardinally direction inclined. To the top right there. She tells you if you head up just a little bit, about 2, 3, 4 hours, you're going to find the tomb off to the side, and there's markers on the road, and she describes the area pretty accurately. And I marked it on your map. Zoom in for you. And she says the hills don't look like they can be, she doesn't believe that you can access it from the long road. So she says you'd have to go up the Larch Path because that's the way they travel, because too many caravans come down the main road. But she says that is the area where they were playing when they found the ghost, or the ghost found them.
I thought I was able to free range out some when I was a kid. Shit, 4 hours away.
Yeah, they just get kicked out the front door.
Deuces, hopefully you'll come back.
Sounds like my childhood.
We'll just make more.
Right? It's cold winter. Well, Shaban will, thank the little girl, and reaches into her pouch and pulls out a copper and hands her a copper and says, thanks her, thank you for the information, little one, and we will let you know what we find out.
She definitely eagerly takes the money, and after a look to her grandmother, and she asks if she can go, and her grandmother kind of shoos her out the door and turns to you guys and says, I wasn't sure what to believe. You never know with these kids. They're always running off here and running off there. She says, I can't really, I'm not sure if it's concerning, or I can't really offer too much money. We just kind of try to make ends meet, but I can definitely give you some free chickens. And she kind of looks out of the corner of her eye and says, raw or cooked, raw or cooked, whatever it is you like.
I guess Augie isn't too happy.
I mean,
No judgment.
Augie smiles. I mean, do we want to do it? It's a group decision, really.
Well, let's see where the other treasure area is, because if it's close to, or I mean, if everybody knows about, yeah, that's what I want to do. Siobhan will ask the what's her name, Mindy or Mandy or Candy, Andy, Dandy,
Minnie.
Minnie. How many people has her granddaughter told about this?
She said there's just been conversation here or there. She's not aware that a lot of people know.
Okay. Yeah. Siobhan looked back at Oglavon and says, I think it's worth a look, but let's figure out what this other, and holds up her fingers, treasure, and does the air quotes. We may find out first.
Augie agrees and says, let's go.
Sounds good to me.
Alrighty. So you guys are wanting to head off to the Helmet High Sun to get some food and ask around, or?
Yeah, we want to go to the Helmet High Sun.
That's weird, dude. Let's take a 5-minute break. I gotta take a leak, and we can start back up.
Okay, I'll be right back.
So can we make it 10?
We'll call it 10.
Okay, good, because I want a cigarette. I got home and went straight to the frickin' computer, so.
Alright, we'll meet back in 10.